more value for your money when you activate your Digicel Prime bundle. More choices for what you want at low prices. More talk time on the most reliable network. More any-use data for whatever you're into searching and sharing. And dedicated data for more new apps to stream your music, shows, and live sports. Activate a Digicel Prime bundle of your choice in the My Digicel app today and save more. Digicel, better connected.
Nice to be in orbit.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, and welcome to SipNchat. Right at the Sugar Factory with me, Azem, and of course, Jade, Gwenny, Adita, CPL, Mathis, Stuart, Sink, it's Beyonce Johnson, as we look forward to having some cool conversation with you guys, and yeah, with a bunch of our friends. Right?
We have friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is a new development for me, but I really appreciate all you guys.
As you should.
Yeah, you, the Kingsters, the Sippers.
Yeah, man.
I'm feeling like such a social butterfly lately.
Sorry.
I've actually been considering like going out from time to time.
Look how far we've come.
Yes, Jade. It's about growth, Jade, for me. Evolution.
Indeed.
Yeah, but how are you doing, Jade?
I'm quite well.
Wow! I am so happy to hear that. I think I understand what happened to my day yesterday now.
What?
You stole all my good vibes.
Me? Not me. I just,
Because yesterday was a day for me, Jade. I ain't gonna lie.
Yesterday went left?
Wow.
It happens, friend. It happens to the best of us.
Yesterday was a rough one. I ain't gonna tell no lie.
You're alive, right? You're tough, right?
By midday. By midday, 12:30.
Everything was in shambles?
I was just like, I literally parked up on Church Street. And just took a few minutes. Like I just left on my AC with my window down, because what had happened was my window went down and just wasn't coming back up. Driver side window of that.
Sorry.
Just this side ain't coming back up.
Sorry.
So I like, and you know what it is, Jade? This is what it is. So I've been having a rough couple of days, but able to manage. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't really take on them things. Boom, 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 handle whatever situation. Assess the situation, deal with the situation if possible. If you can't deal with it, then what you gonna do? Right, move on. But what has happened is when you have big thing happen, and then
happen, that's it, eh?
and then your shoestring loose out. He's like, hey!
You talk about somebody down yesterday?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I told you what I did. I took a few minutes. I sat in my.
Oh, that was good, eh?
I sat in my vehicle for a few minutes.
Oh, that way I call growth.
And then I composed myself. And then I called a mechanic friend of mine and said, when are you going to pour must check? Went up, guy, who they tell me must check. Nobody there. Telling me, hey, call back the mechanic friend. Send me the number of this mechanic guy who ain't by the mechanic shop. Mechanic guy who I called say, he can't be there just now.
Just now mean hour and 15 minutes.
It actually meant 48 minutes.
Oh, okay. See, I was close.
But guess what, Jade? In a place that has been drier than a bag of Lay's potatoes, the one day that my window decided not to go back up is the one day rain decided to fall, Jade. Let me tell you something, right? When I see the cloud, them coming over, I say no. No. When the rain started to fall, I just started laughing. Because at that point, I was just like, okay, like, I see what going on here.
You need to apologize to that young lady. Like, take them roots off for you. Get your life back together. Because she working overtime, eh? All of that one day?
Watch.
Who you piss off?
I don't know, Jade. And the thing is, but you see, what it is, you can't let things get you to a point where you're just like defeatist.
You stopped there. That would have been my last straw.
I left there, went to a meeting. Meeting went alright.
Okay.
Left the meeting, went to another meeting. The meeting went alright.
Okay. Well, it went bad.
It went bad. It went good either, but it went alright. So
small mercies.
And then I realized it was getting late. Being in a car from Pano. I said, bye, watch you. I hope my chance ain't just up there, getting soaked. When I go back from my vehicle, I stepping in a puddle. And then just when I was giving up hope,
he called
and said, yo, Daniel, check me. I said, okay, I can go up there.
What? What make the mechanic sound so?
Because he's just an excited guy.
Oh.
See, he's an excited guy.
Wow.
Kingston's come from.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, he did his thing. Like he tell me, but you gotta be careful with it. I said, bro, if you're walking, I could deal with that.
Yeah, how you tell me walking, but I gotta tell me be careful.
You walking, that don't mean it is brand new. So
no, I'm not that.
So he just tell me, yeah, this thing. I mean, of course, I got a penny man, so that there is money that was not in the budget. But
so you got enough friend?
Watch you. And it got this thing that happened to me, right? Every time I happen to make money, I get all these unforeseen big spending.
Oh, of course.
It happened to other people though?
Yeah. Don't let your problem like got money, you know?
Gotta invite their friends. It's almost like I gotta be like, okay, let's see where the expenses can come from this time.
We only literally working. I mean, I live to work, you know? To work to fix our pair bill.
So, of course, people say, you live to work or you work to live? Which one?
Both. We can't be both at this point.
Right, and that is something that I really trying to address in my life personally. Like,
okay.
No, it don't mean that I'm getting less or doing less work or anything like that. But what I'm trying to do is ensure that the things that I give my energy and time to are things that I could actually either be proud of, have ownership over, that kind of thing. Like situations that I don't feel I have proper control, if I don't have an ownership stake in, if it isn't something that I'm passionate about, you get into a point I'm just saying, I'm turning them down and saying no.
That's fine. We'll repair you.
Do what?
Repair you.
You see you? You're disgusting, yeah?
I do that.
You're disgusting, Jade.
I felt like drinking a little bit of Perrier today. May want the flat stuff.
I can taste the elitism in my cup, Jade. Let me see that. Wait, let me see. With a hint of bougie. A hint of bougie in every
so
sip.
the people can drink Perrier now. You see how oil be? You see? I like a little bit of sparkling water now and again. What's wrong with that? I may think they're going to drink the what the brand's called? Cypher? Cypher don't do it. I think.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Exactly, but you know it's Perrier.
Everybody knows what's Perrier, yeah.
Okay. So we have to drink a little Perrier now and again.
Who was drinking Perrier?
Not me. I wish.
I can't have got Perrier.
But they made me crave a Perrier yesterday.
Hey, I'm not a big fan of Perrier.
For sure?
I have friends who are, like, that's all they drink.
Me too.
I mean, not really. I don't have any friends here that do that. But
I do.
Okay, congratulations to them. But yeah, I have one friend in particular. He lives where he live now, by Miami. We used to tour together, and all he drinks is Perrier with a little lime or lemon. That's
Ooh.
it. That's it.
Ooh.
That's it. He don't drink nothing else. The only other time he drank something else, and the man had to literally send me a picture to prove it, was when he won a Grammy. He took a sip of champagne.
Oh, you have Grammy award-winning friends, Flex.
He won a Grammy.
Flex.
He won a Grammy, and like when they were celebrating in the room, like they got him to take a sip of some champagne. So yeah, but other than that, come on, anything less to be uncivilized.
Exactly. But this is what y'all want the cabinet ministers to drink? Uncivilized water? I order. Yours is awesome order.
Oh,
listen,
man.
Mate.
You gotta love it.
Yesterday was Hustler News Day. A lot was happening yesterday, but yesterday was Hustler News Day.
It can't be a slow news day when they had a whole press conference.
It can be. It can be.
Anything from the press conference piqued your interest, you found interesting?
I heard we're getting a performing arts center.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what that means. It means different things to different people.
Yep.
It could be a facility that has a performance space, or maybe multiple performance spaces, multiple stages, maybe conference rooms, perhaps rehearsal spaces. It could be just an outdoor amphitheater.
Who knows?
Yeah, it could. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see what. But what I would say though is I'm hoping that the administration learns a lesson or two from this whole housing thing, which the lesson to me is include the relevant stakeholders and the general public in your plans before you cement everything. The reason being is, yes, you might get a bunch of ideas that are maybe not in line with whatever your goals are. Everybody got an opinion and all. But you might actually get some positive feedback. But not only that, I think it becomes a bit more, people are more likely to accept it if they know what's going on and they were part of the process, right? And say what you want, but these things are for the public, these things are for the people, right? So having buy-in from the people, I think, is important.
Definitely.
Right? So when we start hearing about, like, oh, we're breaking ground and this, we're breaking ground on that, or we signed this multi-million-dollar deal for this, and it's like, even for people who are expected to be involved and most impacted, or to be even most concerned about it, don't seem to know what's going on, then it's like, okay, you're just kind of doing your own thing.
Well, we're supposed to have a conversation today with somebody who may be able to answer some questions that we have. So, we shall save the house talk till then. But what else stood out to you yesterday?
Let me watch it. I told you what kind of day I was having yesterday. While they were talking, I was parked on Church Street. I was parked on Church Street contemplating like what I need to do to get over this hump.
Well, somebody who did watch was sending us some key points. some key. Let me see. Well, so apparently they're launching the creative economy in June.
I think what is happening is, and I don't think this is anything that I shouldn't say publicly, no. But no, I think over the next couple of months, Minister Samuel Duggins is intending to really push and launch a lot of the ministries under his purview.
Okay.
So I think creative economy, perhaps, and there was talk about small business as well. So I think over the next few months we're going to be hearing. And that's how it's going to be too, because the hope would be now they have a budget.
What do you mean, no?
Yeah, because, when they got in, budget would have been...
Okay,
So now that there's a budget, things are probably being put in place now, and then they could have an official launch of some of these, whether ministries or... What is it? Let me put it this way. Okay. It seems as though the last few elections we've had several changes in ministry designations. And it seems to be every time we have election, we either get added some new ministries, or some ministries disappear, or some come together and some move apart. Is that because of... Is it just that we are now in a time where there's a lot of change happening in society, and so it's being reflected in this way? Is it that visions for how things should run are constantly changing, maybe based on who is involved and whatever, or is it just more political posturing to make it seem like things are being done, but really and truly we're just calling things by different names? No, and it could be I don't know. Like seriously, I'm not suggesting anything. I really would like to know, because we've been seeing a lot of that. So, like, I'll be honest, for me personally, I can't even keep up sometimes with what the ministries are and, like, who's responsible for what and thing.
But it could be because when governments change, the different ministers have different strengths, and sometimes it might be good to combine them strengths.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, we're getting, like, literally new. So, okay, what you're talking about is where I would say the allocation of ministries come into play. So it's like, I mean, and that has not been traditionally true either, what you're saying. But if that were the case,
I feel like in this case, in this new administration, they kind of placed some not so much, but most majority. Yeah, because look, Samuel, knowing Samuel, his ministries fit him.
Yeah.
Conwys, his ministries fit him. The Prime Minister.
Finance and investment.
Let me finish now, man.
Okay. He's an accountant.
Some of his ministries fit him.
You mean what? 1 out of the 4.
You can't tell much somebody,
You say majority, you know, that's the word you use.
So the majority of the ministers, not the ministries.
But that's what we're talking about, the ministries.
Yeah, but
how the ministries are allocated to who they're allocated to.
Yes, but that was saying majority of the ministers, the ones that are allocated to them, they fit what they what Dougie got?
Dougie has foreign affairs and no. So
no, he does.
No. Dougie has foreign affairs and investment. But he doesn't have CBI.
See where the sum comes in. That's what the word sum is there for, friend. To fix all those other issues.
Oh man.
That's what that word sum is for.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I think we've been having these shifts happening, right? I just wondering what's the driving force behind that. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Is it just different visions for different administrations that are leading to? Is there a Ministry of Community Development still? I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. So
I truly don't remember.
Yeah. So it may be. I mean, and the thing is, you could justify anything. Eh? Like, you could make an argument for pretty much anything.
Well, maybe it is. I just don't. Maybe they renamed it, so we don't know what.
But that's the point I'm making. Like there seems to be a lot of shifts, movements, and it's not this administration. Like, I think it's been that way for the last few administrations. Like, you start getting some new ministries. Things start moving from one place. Things that were a ministry now become a department. Yeah. So one day we are like, it might. I don't know. It might just be vision for. Yeah, the vision that the administrations have, put things in different priorities or calling things by different names. But a lot of times you don't really see a lot of restructuring of what the roles and mandates of the people that are in these particular roles changing. So it's like, well, I have a new name now.
But it's the
I'm doing the same work.
But that's, you see, when you said that, and that's how I felt about when I heard that they're launching, because I'm like, I thought we already have one.
No, but you got to have something, dude, because...
Yeah, but it can't be...
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Revamping a launch because a launch being new? No?
I think this is the thing that we've been seeing a lot lately. And not just in government, like... The public facing is becoming more and more important as we become a society that consumes more and more media content, and so the way things are presented and how they're presented and marketed and things becoming more and more and more important, right? And I think what that's leading to is a lot of the public-facing measures that companies, institutions, businesses do. You could tell, like, yeah, it's a public relations thing that's happening. I think that's.
Well,
everybody have a launch. Everybody have a
public
communication.
is important, right?
Yeah, no, and like I said, because of how we consume and get information now, and I think a lot of that is driving how a lot of these entities are behaving, right? So.
What else?
A lot of time it does feel weird. It does feel like, it's like with particularly hip hop music, the whole idea of a rollout, and like the rollout just becoming like it becoming like a caricature. Like you feel like a lot of stuff that these institutions and like governments and so doing just feel like a rollout, and I think a lot of people getting just like.
Well, sometimes you gotta roll things out, friend. So Carnival is launching in June.
Okay, vibes.
I like that. Yeah, give us some time to see what's happening, get people some time to get themselves together. Because Carnival,
I mean, kind of the same time every year. But
it does not matter, friend. It does not matter. It's not just for us. We know it's the same time every year.
Everybody knows it's the same time every
No,
year.
a lot of people don't know when Take Carnival is. A lot of foreign people, not us. Also, minimum wage is going up.
Okay. Vibes. I mean, prices going up too?
You mean going down?
Prices.
I want it to go down. Where you want it to go up?
If minimum wage goes up, everything else goes up.
So prices up right now, minimum wage up?
But you know what I'm saying? I said when minimum wage goes up, everything goes up.
But I want it to come down.
Yes,
but I don't want it. I don't want it to go up. It's up enough.
Yeah, but how would that gonna work?
Just how we working now that up and we down?
No, because minimum wage isn't dependent on what's going on in the economy. You know? But prices are. And one of the things that affect prices is salaries.
We can't do it differently. We can't set our own rules. Up to that. We have to set our own rules. Where we gonna follow people?
Why? I don't know if the concepts of macro and microeconomics are really subject to our feelings and likes and desires.
That's where that's okay.
Even though some of them are just ridiculous for real. The idea of inflation as a tool for that's ridiculous. But one of these days I'm going on a rant on that, but not today.
So back to my point again. Carry them down, carry up the minimum wage.
So carry up the minimum wage and somehow prices go down.
No, we carry it down.
We just carry down prices.
Yeah, right. They'll just carry it up in the store.
Yeah. So who it is this second carry down the prices?
Man, somebody.
Not this store?
Somebody.
Oh man, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that whole thing plays out. But what I can say is that I think we need to change our approach to financial security and how we deal with these things. Does the minimum wage need to go up? I believe so. Right? I think the government acknowledges that and said that they're putting things in place to deal with that, right? Cool. Is the situation that a lot of people in based solely on the fact that they're not being paid enough? I don't think so. So if we're trying to improve financial security, improve financial standing of the citizens, and we're recognizing that that is a need and necessary, along with raising the minimum wage, we have to do things to address some of the other contributing factors to why people struggle the way they struggle, right? people like, and I think just having the education concepts out there is a start. The next thing that we need also are programs to make it easy for people to exercise the knowledge that they would have been given. And sometimes the programs help you to build the right habits without even having the information, right? So for instance, if the government says that there is a program that they're putting in place for investment, right? And I'm just using this as broad terms. I ain't giving up a specific thing. I think there are people who don't even know exactly how it works and things that are going to put some money there because, well, they tell you, if I put $100 here every month, that by the time I'm ready to retire, I got $1 million somewhere. Right? I got $1 million somewhere put up. So even though that sounds good, I mean, and really and truly, that's not necessarily great. It might be better than what people are doing now for themselves. Right? It's quite possible. But, and I'll talk about that briefly because this is something I had this conversation with somebody earlier. They said, like, hey, America have these accounts and these programs, you put $100 a month and it compounds compounding interest over 40 years. You end up with over $1 million. And I'm like, yeah, but bro, that's 40 years. That's literally $25,000 a year. Like, that's not necessarily life changing, right? So, how do we get people to a place where they are able to grow wealth, which I think is what we need to start looking at, as opposed to simply, putting more money in people's pocket, which they need.
Yeah.
But it has to go further than that. If we really want to push growth, if we want to push generational wealth, if we really want to push just simply sound financial behavior. Like the idea of generational wealth, like everybody like to say it, but it's like, let's be honest, most of us, or most people, one, I don't think that's necessarily their goal in the first place. And two, like, it's not as easy as it may sound, right? Like,
that is true.
Right. Particularly, like I said, there's not really many opportunities and programs and things that are geared towards, people being able to do that. So, hopefully, this is just one part of, getting our people to a new financial space. We start talking about how many people and government assistance, and how unsustainable it is, and how much money that we're giving out,
and how much we spend.
I wonder if, and that is why I was one of the people who was not a fan of the so-called CBI dividends. I was not a fan of that at all. Like, that was. Most people drink off that, though. Let's be honest.
Bye.
Most people, like if you are one of the people who took that money and it's now not $250 and it's now $1,000, well, kudos. I don't think that's the case for most people. Most people, it went directly into, they spent it, boom. Right?
Right, back into the economy.
What I would have liked to see instead is that money that is brought in from the CBI program, at least a good percentage of it goes into a national wealth fund, something that we could grow over time. And there's different ways that you could do that, right? You could do that as a supplement to Social Security. You could do that as something that you are able to pull from in case of emergency. It is something that maybe the country could pull on under specific circumstances. So that's something that I would have liked to see happen, as opposed to okay, we have this money coming in from the thing, give everybody $200 or $250. Like, I don't think that is the best use of it. I think we really need to create a wealth fund for the country. But, yeah, time will tell.
Time will tell. What else happened?
We want rich people here, like, come on.
Yeah, we need some rich people here.
No, but I ain't talking about flying them in. We need more people here. Yeah, man, like.
And I feel like a lot of people have that same sentiment. You know?
Yeah, but the problem is that the people, a lot of us are concerned with how we get rich. How do I get rich, right?
Yeah, not us.
How do I get rich? As opposed to what are the actual steps that are available to me as a Kittian, as an envision, to grow wealth and move me and my family out of the financial situation that we're in. What are the mechanisms that exist? Because everything that I hear about is debt accumulation. It's debt accumulation. It's just jump up because development bank got a loan going on here and the interest rate and everything.
Everything is a loan.
Like jump up, and then when you get a loan and it's like, okay, well, hold it. Everybody will not be able to start a business in the truest sense of the term that is then going from a small business to a medium business to a large business. Like
not at all.
Everybody's not going to be able to do that. But a small business owner should be able to have ways and means to supplement that income to get to a place where, you know, they don't have to go and tell the child at 18, go development bank and see what they could give you. And you understand where I'm coming from? Like,
yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, like,
I'm with you. Everything does feel like the only solution to every problem we have is go take a loan.
But at the end, but even if you take a loan, right? It has to be. A lot of it is to service debt. So you take debt to service debt. So you take a loan and you buy a liability. You buy a car, right? You buy a house, and people and I just be like, a house is a debt. For me, it's a liability. You put it in liability category. The accountants might go, oh no, it's an asset and whatever. But we don't have a lot of opportunity here to leverage the asset to make money in the first place, right? You're building some apartments, I can understand that. But a lot of people that's not what they're doing.
No, they're building a house.
What you do, this is generally how it goes for people, and if I'm wrong, somebody could tell me. Generally is you work hard, you talk to a politician, right?
Yeah.
You talk to a politician, you get either a piece of land or you get a house.
Okay, we understand.
Right? And you continue working hard and paying little by little by little. Or should the politician give you work out, you ain't got to pay back?
Because I just going to say, I find out that people was over here paying $50 a year for mortgage, you know? $50 a year.
No, Jade, but I mean,
insane.
But if I come to you and you give me a house, your expectation is that I vote for you. What money are you asking for again? Because the rhetoric is, we give you a house. So if you give me a house, what are you looking for money for?
This is a gift.
Yeah, but...
And plus the government don't evict people apparently, so...
How you evict me? And how much votes you going to lose when you evict me? That's your leverage right there.
Apparently, because that's a thing. That is a thing, but...
Yeah. But again, if the politician's going to tell you, like, we give you a house, then...
We give you land.
Yeah. But anyway, so generally, like I said, you might end up taking a loan to finish part of the house. Maybe you want to... You take your time, build up. You know, every month you buy a few blocks. You know, every week you buy a bag of cement or something. You keep going. You do what you got to do. You do a lot of the work yourself. You bring your friends. You got a contractor partner. You got some partners who just do something. One of your child father, them is a contractor. He come through, build a little thing. Like that's how we go. Like people do what they do and they're trying to make it happen. And then you have somewhere that you could call your own that you live. Yeah. Right? After all that is said and done, if you're lucky, you get a little duty free to help out with the thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're lucky, you get a little duty free help out with the situation. That's what people doing to try and make things happen. Like people not really staying there and talking about, people ain't looking about how we're going to be able to build a set of apartments.
No.
people would want to, but how realistic is it when you're...
It is really not, especially with how
when your
prices
bills
are.
Well, your bills...
You have bills to pay. You still have to pay for all of your materials, the people, the labor.
Jade,
you still have to...
Your bills are $2,500 a month, and you're working for $1,500. That is what's going on in people's life right now.
No, you don't have to tell me. As I tell you, I talk to people all the time, and they tell me how hard it is for them, and even business owners. I sat in a business, and I looked outside, and as in when I tell you, there was only one person that I saw walk into that store. Like, I don't understand how people paying bills. Like, I don't understand.
Some of the professions I see people struggling in is like, for instance, when I was teaching, and I realized like what people were getting paid, I couldn't understand how some of my counterparts were doing it. It's like, I mean, of course, that was my first job out of school, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm now in the workforce, and these are things now that I'm considering in a different way, because I'm expecting a paycheck now. I'm working, and you feel like life can just be
magical.
Magical. I'm working now, I'm making money.
I could take care of myself.
All I got to do is go to this place for a few hours a day. The rest of the day, I just troubling girls, smoking weed and drinking rum. That's life is sweet.
Life is sweet, yeah.
And then you realize my mother's here.
I got responsibility.
Yes, I go. Yeah. So I used to wonder.
Bill and all kind of stories start to happen.
So I teaching, and I'm looking at some of my teacher friends, and I'm like, you got 2 kids, you're paying rent, right? You have a vehicle, and the maths in. The maths in, and then you start to figure out, like, well, how is it that they're supplementing the income? Not because you're fast, but because you're concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe because you're fast, because you're figuring what you could do too. Because it's just
that first got the link.
Right.
Clearly, because if you survive enough for less than what your bills cost, yeah, man, you got a secret link somewhere in there. But I don't think that's the truth for a lot of people. I think they're just making do with what
No, what happened is debt continues to accumulate. So what happened is this month, I was $300 short. Next month, I was $200 short. And before you know it, I take a loan to pay off this and pay that and whatever. Now I got $60,000 in debt. That what I'm trying to do is, from the same shortfall, pay a smaller amount here monthly. But what happening is that, while I'm paying that, I still, like...
You're still accumulating.
You're still accumulating debt. And that's what happening. Like, Jade, when I see some of these things, and people might, like some of these business owners, I spoke directly to a manager at one of these institutions that give out what I call predatory loans, right? And he telling me, but that's is the service we're providing what people need. And I said, no, what people need are instructions and opportunities to get them out of the situation that they're in, not put them deeper in it.
Yeah, I think that's why we need.
Right, so what you're doing is like, a man chop off your hand and you give him a band-aid. Put that here.
Yeah, fix that there.
Like, that's exactly what we're doing. It's like we got somebody that a huge sore and just give them like a plaster and be like...
Some purple lotion.
So, I mean, I am personally, I am trying to figure out what that looks like for us as estheticians, right? Like, I've read books, I watch videos, I've done online courses, I've done all these things that speak to growth mindset, wealth mindset. How do you grow wealth? How do you
think and grow rich?
Right, all of them things,
yeah,
right? But the problem is a lot of the opportunities that are pointed out aren't relative to us. We can't apply them here. So how does that work?
And that's the thing. That's one of the biggest issues, that a lot of the options that people tell us, just save and invest and do all these things, but we don't have those kind of options here.
You can't get rich saving. You cannot get rich saving.
It's very limited here. So when you're telling people to try and do this and try and do that, the only things they actually offer us here is loans. They don't offer us, well, you could buy some shares, but even buying shares don't do what you think.
Buying shares work if you have a lot of money to buy shares.
It's not
because, yes, a 10% return on your investment is good. But if all you had to invest in the first place was $1, then the 10 cents not really changing.
It's not doing anything.
If I have $500,000 and I get a 10% return on that every year, then
yeah, you could literally,
I could literally live off my interest, but we don't have that type of disposable income to do it.
Yeah, we do not, and that is one of the biggest issues. So when everybody's trying to fix the issue of how do we get the economy to a better place, or we get people to be more sufficient, well, you have to create those opportunities, and not just by saying, okay, well, here's a loan, or, you know.
I keep saying it all the time, Jade, even with Development Bank, right? Based on what I think the mission of Development Bank is, I think we need to start looking at different options for people who are interested in building themselves, right? We need to start looking at different options. How do we implement things like refinancing of assets, right? Or refinancing my home. Am I able to take my family home, right? So for instance, I grew up in a house down McKnight.
I did too.
Well, actually, this is a hypothetical.
Oh.
I did kind of grow up in a house down McKnight. Yeah. We got Malone Avenue massive one time, but
me, I was one.
Yeah. Is it Malone Avenue?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Where?
Down to the bottom, by where Sonia has those buildings.
Which one of the homes?
The upstairs and upstairs one that.
All of them on the bottom is upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah, it's not.
Because mine was the second one up from where was the drinks depot. That's where my grandmother was living.
Where's the drinks depot be?
The drinks depot was the one on the Bay Road corner.
Oh no. So mine was.
I know where Sonia Academy used to live. So it was the one. Okay, so the Fort Thomas Road. The house built on the seaside of Fort Thomas Road, or the one above.
You gotta go down Malone Avenue, so it's almost to the bottom.
But I'm telling you, and the bottom is only three.
The bottom to the bottom green, to the top was like cream.
To the bottom green?
Yeah.
Upstairs was cream?
Yeah, miss.
And which side? The side to the cenotaph or the other side? Or the other side?
The other side.
Yeah, that sounds like almost the same house.
Can be. Can it?
What years that was?
When I was in like high school.
Oh, okay, maybe. So that might have been after my grandmother moved out. It might have been the same.
Interesting.
Yeah, you could go straight to there. Yeah, you could go straight to there. Yeah, but the thing is, so I grew up in a house down McKnight. Now, this is hypothetical, man. It's a house that maybe my grandmother was living in, and then my mother come living in, and now I live in it, right? I get a job, I'm working somewhere, me rich, me ain't got a lot of nothing else. But what I have is this house. So the thing is, what I need to be able to clearly see is, I have this asset, what are the options available for me to ensure that at least my children have a better, future than I had, right? So does that mean I'm able to renovate my home, right, from a loan that was given to me from an institution like a development bank, right? That raises the value of the home, right? I'm now able to take whatever new equity I've put into it, right? So the house was worth 80,000, 100,000. It now, because of the renovations, is now worth 210. Am I able to extract that in some way, right? Through whatever thing with development bank, to then have that cash that I can then perhaps purchase another home that I can rent, or build another home where I build some apartment somewhere that I can think, and that is of course all wrapped in with maybe sustainable development, where maybe to get some land or whatever to do exactly that. Those are the kind of things that need to be clearly laid out for people, because the truth is we didn't learn these things in school, right?
Nope.
So what we need now is just give me the path. No, everybody ain't gonna take it, and it's not gonna be easy, and it's not gonna struggle.
No,
it's
and
gonna be a struggle.
everybody.
Right. So, but then we need to know what that is.
Yeah. So the people who are willing and able can.
Yeah, and people willing to make sacrifices. It's not like we're trying to give anybody no easy way out, but we don't even know what the hard way out is.
And that there is the biggest problem. But speaking of homes, we have a special guest in the studio, Ambassador Natta-Nelson.
Okay.
And so let's take a break and come right back with him and, you know, talk housing.
All right, guys, we'll be right back with more Sip and Chat right here on the Sugar Factory. Stick and stay, guys. We'll be right back.
Get more value for your money when you activate your Digicel Prime Bundle. More choices for what you want at low prices. More talk time on the most reliable network. More any-use data for whatever you're into searching and sharing. And dedicated data for more new apps to stream your music, shows, and live sports. Activate a Digicel Prime Bundle of your choice in the My Digicel app today and save more. Digicel, better connected.
It's not just iced tea and it's not cold tea. But who said we couldn't be in the middle? We are Mother Becky Quenchers, a herbal iced tea. It's a different and innovative take on using traditional herbs for tea. It's a home. It's not just iced tea and it's not cold tea. But who said we couldn't be in the middle? We are Mother Becky Quenchers, a herbal iced tea. It's a different and innovative take on using traditional herbs for tea. It's a home.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sip and Chat right here at the Sugar Factory, and as you guys can tell, we are joined by a very special guest in studio with us. This is the first time at the Sugar Factory, right?
First time at the Sugar Factory.
I imagine that, but
Took me a while, but
yeah, hey,
but I'm here now.
better late than never.
You're busy, you know, you're a whole ambassador, so you have things to do.
I would imagine, but nevertheless, you know, I'm here, I'm impressed. You know, congratulations to both of you for the Sugar Factory.
Thank you.
Appreciate this.
Sip and Chat. So I don't have the right sip, but we can still chat.
There's no right sip. Whatever you feel like sipping, you sip.
And unfortunately, we don't have Perrier, so you know.
But of course, guys, for those of you who may not know, this gentleman right next to us is none other than Ambassador Leeronie.
Yes.
And good morning. So how are you doing now?
Good morning. I'm good, man. I'm good spirit, good feeling as usual.
Nice, right.
Listen, you're having a good time, you know, his skin clear.
This is
He look no stress on the face.
well, life good. It shows.
It should.
Indeed.
Shining too.
Man, it's a blessing, man. Every day you wake up, you're motivated to go out and do your job. That's one thing I'm self-satisfied about. You know, I like what I do. Going out, as burdensome as it may be sometimes, it's what I like to do and what I want to do. So I get up every day and look forward to the challenge of whatever it brings.
Well, for people who do not know, what is your job?
I am currently financial advisor in the Ministry of Finance. I am also the ambassador with special advisor to human settlement, which is specifically NHC and customs. So there's a lot on the plate.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. And
you still have the political obligations, being the caretaker of the constituency number 7 for the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party.
Of course.
It's a lot.
And I mean, it's a lot on your plate, but you seem to be relishing in it. You seem to be enjoying it. And as you said, you are enjoying the challenges and enjoying the work that exists. I know that it's now been, like 9 months since post-election. And do you feel as though yourself, I speak for you because what I find interesting, and I don't hear talked about much, is the fact that in the last election, I don't think a lot of us expected elections to happen at that particular time.
Right.
And so the Labour Party, I think, at least through the vision of, based on a conversation we would have had with the now Prime Minister, he said, hey, we saw what was happening across the region. We didn't want to get caught with our pants down, and so we were prepared for any eventuality. So whenever elections occur, we'll be ready. But it does still feel as though there's no ministers who are even thrust faster than they might have anticipated into that role.
Right.
How has it been settling in to your role now as ambassador, special advisor, being a part of the administration in your capacity? How has it been settling in for the last 9 months?
Right. Well, I could say generally, I think for everyone, it was almost like overnight.
Yeah.
Everybody had to find a class real quick. The ministries, learn the people inside the ministries, and you can't do that in 9 months. So the challenge is still there. But generally, again, like myself, the others are committed to the task, and so that makes it one part easy. For myself now, it's the expectations for me are no less than, despite I'm not a minister of government, they are no less than a minister of government. No, I don't get the same perks as a minister. I don't get the same salary as a minister. But people's perception is that, okay, his party is in, so therefore he should have access to, equivalent to a minister. It doesn't work that way, but it's not something that I differ from. Sometimes the hardest thing after an election is managing people's expectation.
Right.
You can put policies in place, you can do a lot of administrative stuff, but managing people's expectations is one of the most difficult things you would have to do in my situation.
Right.
And as sometimes it's difficult. Some people don't want to hear. The no's are I'll see, but it comes with the territory.
Right.
You sign up for it, you have to deal with it. And if you don't shy away, people will respect you. The more you answer them, and the more you're upfront with them, and the more you be real with them. And so that's my thing. And
Tell me how it is. I might be disappointed, but at least I respect that.
It's better to do that.
Right.
For me, some people complain. I find myself doing this. If I'm on a call, I won't take a next call because it's to me disrespectful to say somebody calling me, unless I know it's a direct emergency or I had just called someone. Usually I'll use my phone to say, if I'm in a meeting, I'm in a meeting.
Right.
So at least the person knows there's a response, not that I just don't answer.
Right.
But if I'm on a next call, it's difficult to switch over. I wouldn't really do that.
Right.
And so, those are the things that you put in place to make sure that you're still connected and you still make sure there's communication with the people. Right.
I mean, you mentioned earlier when you were speaking about, your responsibilities and what it is that you're doing right now. One of them is a special advisor to the human settlement, specifically NHC. And of course, there's a lot happening as it relates to housing in St. Kitts right now.
That's the big thing.
That's the big thing? Well, I mean, the whole situation with the 2,400 homes, were you involved in the negotiations of that whole deal? Is it something that now that it's in place, are gonna help more to shape and advise as to the way forward with that?
Well, I would say both. I've been invited to cabinet several occasions where this matter came up, the initiative. But let's just retrack a little bit. I think when I came in, there was a conversation between both of you, and you were speaking of you growing up in McKnight, I think, in town, somewhere in town.
Yeah, hypothetical, but yeah.
Right. But let's look at housing, a house situation. What does a house do for a family? What does a house do for an individual? One, it provides cover, provides a place of shelter. And as you mentioned, it also provides transformational wealth from generations to generations. A place where people can sleep and have comfort, look after their kids, look after themselves. And also, it can be used as equity capital down the road for financing, for doing something as it provides an opportunity for you to become perhaps a business person in real estate or stuff like that. So housing is very important. And so based on the campaign promises, we had campaigned to bring 2,000 home solutions to people. We are at the point now where assessing the situation, we have seen where the demand for house is that high. The applications that we have seen have dated back since 2016 going up to 2023, and the last total I had was almost 3,800 plus. So the government said, look, is this going to be enough, the 2,000 home solution? How do we allocate resources to NAC to solve this type of demand for housing? And we said, look, here is this option for us to get a developer / investor who wants to come and deliver 600 homes per year, per construction year. Whenever construction starts, 1 year from that, not necessarily a calendar year. Over 4 or 5 years, and you will get 2,400 homes. That would make a significant indent into what is the demand now for housing. Also, we will have the usual applications of the usual way that NAC will build house. You send in an application, and there's consideration for building assistance, which is if you have land already, they'll build on your land, or the building scheme where they normally build cluster homes, a number of homes in one area, and they will distribute them to persons living hopefully within the constituency. So this is just an alternative method of delivering to the people, and part of the continuous process that is required of NAC, which is to build low affordable income homes for people on the different side of the income bracket, so they can get a chance, a fundamental chance, a rightful chance of owning a piece of land and home in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right. I mean, I think there's no question about the need for housing, right? We see some communities that are growing exponentially, and we see now people who are, moving out, stepping out, starting their own families and need somewhere to go. There's a huge part of the population that does not own homes, they rent, right? And I think a lot of those have the desire to own homes and stuff like that. There has been a lot of, let's say, criticism, concerns, questions about perhaps not just the specifics of the program, perhaps in the way that the program was rolled out and brought to the public, we found out about it. Do you believe any of these questions are well-founded? Most of them you think are maybe political posturing? What are some of the concerns that you're hearing that you feel at least should be a need to be addressed?
Right, and let me start by answering that by saying people have the right to ask, people have the right to question. Not because I'm part of the government now, I'm saying that is how it should be. Ask the questions and so on, so that you can have as more information than you will need to make a decision about how to go about conducting yourself. What the government did is to make 2 announcements. Pretty much NHC put out a flyer I think in February, early March, to say that they will deliver 600 homes within a year. Then on the campaign of the pre-Labor Day March, the ministers and so on, we alluded to how much homes we would be delivering on that specific scheme. And then shortly after that, I think Minister Hanley would have mentioned on the platform that he's going to sign soon enough the contract to deliver the homes. And then after that, there was a general statement put out by NHC as to what has been done. In the meantime, there were considerations and consultations as to how do we do these things and so on. Then, what is to happen? I think NHC did have an open fair yesterday, but we will have an official press conference sometime next week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, to say and to display and give all the specifics. What we have also done is to put together a task force comprising of various ministries, persons from ministries, critical ministries that is involved in like sustainable physical planning, social and gender, because the demographics of people that is involved, climate, experience, architects, people in environment and so on, so as to put a policy together and also to make sure that the type of homes that we are building is within the specifics of what is to be allowed in construction here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The way in which that this agreement is that the developer will bring 2 homes. We will build 2 model homes. Okay. On those 2 model homes, once the government says, look, this is acceptable, then we roll out the full program. Now, mind you, this is not like, it's a home. It's a lot of money to be invested with the people and for the people. This is not something where you can go on Amazon and buy something, and if it fits or don't fit, you can return it. Right. So that option to me was part of the selling point. That's where we can have the option of saying, this is the standard that we are looking for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Let us accept this or do not accept it and remove her. So, so what you're saying is the way that the contract is written is that it leaves the government, as it stands now, the opportunity to, based on the deliverables, decide, well, this isn't going to work for us, we think, or perhaps make suggestions as to how we move forward. This needs to be adjusted, that needs to be adjusted. This isn't up to spec. This might not be necessary. We could forego that and just... So that type of conversation, because what you're saying for me in terms of a task force being put in place, to me that almost seems like something that would have happened prior to signing of the contract. Yes. So that happened prior to signing of the contract. Yes. Okay. Yes. So as it stands now, the next step is for the models to be built. Right. And then what's the expectation when those are built? Is it that our specialist or whatever take a look, decide on what it is? And of course, I would suspect they'll be a part of the building process as well. Right. To see how that is done. The next step, while there's continuous consultations. Okay. There have been consultations with the Construction Association. There has been consultation with, as I mentioned, the physical planning unit, because they have to have the specs to make sure that everything that the houses how the houses will be delivered is in accordance to the regulations here. During the construction of the 2 model homes, and even before that, there is expectations to engage more of the contractors, because they are the one who's going to be building these houses. Right. To make sure, because the model, the method, I should say, of construction, it is different to what we are accustomed of seeing every day, which is the blocks and mortar with steel and so. The way that is going to be constructed, it's different. Right. Some contractors here have had experience using the creed form and so on. Yeah, the prefab and pouring of the concrete. Some has. But it's not, majority of them hasn't had. So while these 2 model homes will be constructed, we will make sure that we have the reach out to the local contractors, subcontractors, plumbers, everybody, to make sure that they are a part of it. So the expectation, the understanding, the knowledge, the competency is all at the same level, close to the same level, so that when we roll out, once once accepted, once we roll out, that everybody could be on the same page.
Okay. I mean, for me, like I said, there's a lot of questions, and I suspect that as the press conferences come and the continued communication with the public, the hope is that a lot of these the questions get answered. Yeah. There was some prices quoted. What was one of the things for me is that the price of the home itself, does that include the price of the land? That was something that I know was being asked. Well, that was one of the things that came to my mind.
And then yesterday I saw some document which I suspect is fake, but it does have some questions in it that I think we could ask, and you could tell us if this is true or if this is false. So one of it is the land price included?
The land price. Remember, there's two things. There's two options here. One, NSC builds house to two avenues. One we call building assistance, where people have land already. Right. So NSC will just go and construct the home. NSC build house to what we call the housing scheme, where the applicant doesn't have land. So the applicant expects to come and meet the land and the house at the same time. So you pay one fee for the land and the house. Of course, if there is no land, then if you don't own the land, then there should be the factoring of the cost of the land within your repayment or your payments to NHC or to the bank. So what one would be concerned is because one would work out if I don't have the land, well, what would be my mortgage? When you spread a land that will probably cost $10,000–$15,000 on a price of the construction, the marginal increase that you will make, extra $100 would be insignificant to what you will have to pay as a mortgage. So
what I'm saying is the price that was quoted was just the price for the homes itself.
Price of construction for the homes.
Right. Okay. Right. So no land. So okay. That's one of the questions.
Right.
So another thing was that the houses will belong to the bank.
That's a technical area. The banks are the ones who are going to finance.
Right.
So you apply to the portal. You're accepted. The bank pays for the house, but you then own the mortgage through the bank.
Right. Right. So that's how it is generally.
Right. That's how it is generally.
That's not new. That's not new. That's nothing new.
Right.
There's another one that says that you have to pay things like construction insurance.
Usually, I'm not sure about the insurance on these type of things. But what happens usually in construction, you go to the bank, you get a loan. The bank usually asks you, while we are financing this loan for a mortgage, you need to have insurance just in case. Right. But honestly, I will say that is a little bit. I'm not sure if this is part of this arrangement.
Particular. Yeah.
Right. So I'll have to check on that.
Okay. So you said that they are low-income houses, right?
Yes.
So what would be the main qualifications for anybody applying? Like, what do you guys look for? What do you find? What is most important when you are applying?
Well, Jade want a house. That's what's going on. Jade want a house, so she wants to know.
A house and everybody
she wants to know what makes her the most eligible candidate. Makes her a less eligible candidate. That's what she really wants. Ask the question, Jade.
In any situation,
it's true. Wow. People want to know. People want to know.
But usually, any situation like this, any financial institution will want to look at your debt ratio, your income versus your expenses, and determine how much or what you'll be qualified for. There may be persons who go through this who may not qualify for a 3-bedroom, but may be qualified for a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom. So those are the options that are there for you. But it all depends on your debt ratio, your income, and your expenses, and there's a determination that is made. Even if you went to the usual NHC application, that would be the process as well.
Well, I mean, for me, I guess that question, there's some considerations that whether it is policy, whether it is just assume that whether it is not even the case. There's some things that people feel play into the possibility. If you, for instance, perhaps your gender, perhaps your marital status, perhaps so different social factors that might play into it. Is that something that has been discussed? Is that part of the process? Because honestly, I think, people assume that may be wrapped into when you start talking about government assistance homes or government subsidized homes. That's some of the things that you can expect.
And that is a very critical question. And if you, as I mentioned earlier, having the representative from social and gender on the task force, that is why this was so critical, because we need to understand the demographics of people, their lifestyle, their income status, how they live, how they survive. And social services plays a critical part in that, in understanding what people go through on a day-to-day basis, so they can put their input. So in the laying out of the land, especially, how do we lay out and use the land to build houses? How do we get the demographics, the different demographics of people into these houses? Those are key concerns. You're right. All of those things play a critical part. We have civil servants across the board who are nurses, policemen, etc. How do we fit them into new developed areas that we want to make sure that there's a proper demographic of people inside the community, so that the community can sustain itself. There's responsibility inside the community. So all of that is considered. But, it's not the sole thing that is going to say whether or not you will, but it's part of the consideration. And it should be part of.
I think I could speak, for instance, to sometimes. And of course, hindsight is 2020. I think administrations of the past, in an attempt to address certain social and socio-economic problems, may have given priority to, for instance, maybe single mothers, right? Understanding that, hey, this is a situation that, however, that may have led to other complicating issues across the line. There's always a consequence, right? And so even outside of that, when you start looking at how that not only affected the possibility for young men to attain homes, what that did for instance, family structure, where you might find families opting to not have the man in the household, and of course all the other things that roll off of that. So when you ask those questions, it's not simply by how, like, as a young man, I wonder if I go get a house, I gotta wait until, but it's also how does that play into, like you said, the makeup of the community as a whole? How does that affect the family structure? So, I mean, I think the mindset behind the decision makers, and I'm glad to hear that it's not necessarily something that is dependent on one or two factors or not one or two people, because that's another thing that, of course, whether true or not, the belief is that, the perception is that, well, if you vote for certain people, you get ahead of the line. If if you're making more noise or whatever, you get ahead of the line, whatever it is, right? So the fact that there is now at least being put out there that, hey, the decision making is not simply based on me or this particular person, and it's not just this one factor, that other factor. I think it's important for applicants to understand the mindset behind the decision makers, and also that helps them to live with the fact whether they don't get maybe in the next round, whatever, just because they have an understanding of where they fit into the overall vision for housing in the community. So hopefully that is something that there isn't. So we could take away some of those assumptions and some of those perceptions, so we know.
Yes, and some of that will be explained away when we do have the press conference next week. But you're right. If you look at the figures, at a ratio probably like 5-6 to 1 in terms of females versus males getting home, because honestly, the stats of married people getting homes, there hasn't been much application, and you usually don't see much married people trying to get a low-income home. They would normally try to build. So you would see more women, to put plainly, more women than men would have had the opportunity to get chances of owning homes over the years. And so, you know, all of those will be considered to make sure that the different genders in life are not being scapegoat, and that there's a fair, I wouldn't want to say equitable, but a fair way of making sure that people who deserve the house gets the house. And that's important.
What about the overseas Kittish nationals? Are they able to apply and go through the same processes as somebody who's living here?
The application process is open to everyone. What this doesn't...
When you say everyone, even non-nationals who are residents who are not that's another question I have.
That's a good question too.
Well, the application process is open to everyone. We can't discriminate from people from applying as it pertains to our citizens overseas. And let me should say that this 2,400 homes is just a particular avenue in the housing scheme. So it's designed to give you more opportunities to get a house than not getting one. So if you do not get you with this process, there's always the usual NAT process that you can apply to. And we are seeking to come on stream again later on with a different alternative housing project that will even bring more affordable homes to persons who is on the lower side. So we want to create as much avenues for people to get a chance at owning a home in St. Kitts, because a lot of those same persons, so you mentioned, they have land already, they're overseas. But still, if we can create the opportunity for them to come home, generate jobs, because somebody has to build a house, right? And so it's a win-win situation for everyone. But the application process is there for everyone to think. I think there are requirements for non-nationals if they want to. There's something separate that have to go to that. If they have land, that's different. But there's something separate for that.
So what makes these houses smart houses? Because I know that's
smart.
something that people...
They could count and so.
I keep referring to this little joke inside my head that there's this guy at Delay the Wall with the car place. Every time I go in there, Natta, I want one of these houses because I want my house Bluetooth. Everything I want in there, I want to wash dishes, it got to be Bluetooth. I want to do coffee, it got to be Bluetooth. I say, well, you got a woman? He said, even that I want to be Bluetooth. So I don't know how we can get a workout, but if you want to sleep, it's Bluetooth.
The technology there.
But when we say smart homes, we basically mean climate resilient. You know, the way that the houses are structured to make sure that the ever-changing climate situation, the house won't be affected by that, and the houses are durable, so that they can withstand the high strength of hurricane. The last time I make a joke and say 10, somebody took me to task for that. so the high strength of hurricane, and whatever the climate brings to us, they will be able to stay firm on the ground with that. They want to make sure they are energy efficient. So the possibilities of sustaining themselves by using solar and that type of energy inside the houses. So, you know, those are the kind of things that the amenities that we want to make sure. And also, I could confirm by saying that the houses won't come empty. Too far, and I've said this since on the platform in 2020, leading up to 2020 elections. We too far now that we build these houses and the burdens on the homeowner. Low-income people to go inside there and meet nothing. We have to make sure we put something inside. So these are going to come furnished with a fridge, stove, and a full kitchen, as far as I'm told.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know this is very important. But what about things I'm not sure if this falls under your ministry, but what about things like the regulation of rent? Because that's also a problem that a lot of us have. The prices of rent, they're ridiculous, to be quite honest. Is there any plans to regulate those to try and alleviate some of the strain, to help people to be able to just live a little more comfortably, even while renting?
I don't agree with this, so I guess stay out of this one.
She pulled that one on the bag, boy.
Yeah, I don't agree, so I offer this.
3,800 applications, so therefore housing is in demand. The sad part of the economic theory tell you when things are in demand, price go up. If the government is able to deliver on this initiative, what happens? The supply goes down, the demand drops, rent drops.
Okay.
You think so? I totally disagree.
I don't think that's
no, my idea of what drives the rent is the cost of money. I think that's what drives the rent. So when I build, when I borrow to renovate or whatever, build an electric thing or build some apartments or whatever, I think what drives the rent is the cost of the money it took for me to what my mortgage payments are, the cost of insurance, the cost of rent, insurance, upkeep, etc., etc. I work out the maths for some people sometimes. I say, you're talking about the amount of the rent cost for you. But you at the end of the day, by the time your landlord don't take out all the expenses, they go home with $300. Like, that's the way I look at it a lot of times.
Do you realize that hotels have seasonal rates?
Yeah.
Okay, so when it's tourism season, the rates are a particular thing. When it's out of season, the rates are a particular thing. Similar. When the demand is for housing, you can negotiate, even though your space might be $500, you may be able to negotiate more because so much people want that one space. And so you may look to say, look, let me get the most that I can get for it, right? Of course, there's factors inside of you setting your own price of what you want. You've done your maths. I believe price of a land in Frigate Bay, half one is different to a price in the country.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that comes with that. And there's whatever aesthetics, amenities you may provide for your tenant, that's a different thing to consider as well. But rationally speaking, if there is not much demand for rental, then it is that you will have to negotiate to get a client, not just the best client now, but a client. So part of it is actually because of the demand for housing that some people have taken advantage of setting their price the way they have set their price.
I mean, I think it's a complex issue. It's a complex issue because I think a lot of it as well is, like I said, the demand, but the demand for me in a way that speaks to, because we have such an influx of persons. Because even if you use the hotel example, right? Yes, they have seasonal rates, but that's for the short term. They don't have seasonal rates for the students that live over there for 5 years. So it's like it's a different market. And like I said, the problem is that if I, as a landlord, right, can't go to the bank and negotiate over time, then it's difficult for me to pass that on to my tenant. I really just think the cost of money is just really high in the Federation. And I think that drives a lot of the other, even outside of the housing market, I think that drives a lot of why we see prices being so high as well. Right. But it is a complex issue, so hopefully that does ease the burden for some people when you start seeing more people having other options.
Right.
Have you guys allocated spaces for the houses already?
Priority now is those who do have land, the building assistance. There is a strong effort being put in place to make sure that by the time the model houses are completed and that decision is made, that we would have identified all the lands or most of the lands. Because remember, it's only in 600 increment. So a number of persons who have land may take up the first initiative or not. But by the time we have the go-ahead to say, well, the decision is made fully, to say the model homes are built, they are to the satisfaction of the government and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, let us roll out. We should have all of those pieces together. But it's going to be island-wide.
So is there estimated build time per house?
Per house, each home that is going to be built?
Yeah, so like let's say I'm successful in my application. How long can is there a time frame for how long I can expect, at least estimated, for how long it take for my house to get completed once ground is broken? So 2 weeks, 6 months.
Okay, you don't quote me on this one, but I believe in a
estimate.
In a conversation I had based on the way that the construction method is,
right.
We're looking at about a month to 6 weeks instead of 6 months.
Okay, nice.
Right?
Okay,
that you see how fast we have to turn over if we're going to build 600. That is the turnover time, I think, based on what I was told. I just can't remember the specifics of it.
I mean, of course, there's always factors that might lengthen or shorten that, but the estimate, I think, is important. Because from what you're saying, if it is a priority for people who already have land, then it's not, for instance, how we may have seen other projects done in the past where they build several homes in one particular area. And so that might lead to certain...
Even if it comes to that, and that will happen as well. As soon as the lands are identified, lots are identified for this type of project, then it's the same thing. They will go build the houses, whether it's 3, 4, 10 houses in the same area. Usually it's like in an area they will put 10 or something like that.
Right.
So that is the understanding.
Okay. Because I didn't know if it was like, well, okay, guys, we have X amount of crews, and so...
No, well, remember, the crews are going, the labor, the skill, the contractors, they're local.
Right.
They're local.
But that's what I'm saying, like, we have several crews, and so, well, we had a successful applicant in this particular area, so...
Right, that's one way. And then when we do identify the lands, you will see 10, 12 houses going on at the same time.
Right,
yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, of course, time flies when you're...
Yes, and one more, just to support the initiative, I think everything works hand in hand. To get people qualified and eligible, that is why we are so ardent and pushing forward to get the minimum wage increase, so that people can have more flexibility on the income. Because we want people to qualify for the homes, It's not, we don't want it to be difficult. That's why the loan and the institution, we've had the conversations to make sure it's flexible enough to make sure that people get the money so that they can own the homes. We want to make sure that people, that's a fundamental part of our livelihood. We just don't want to go and pay rent for the rest of our life and so on. We want to own a piece of the pie. We want to have equity. We want to have transformational wealth. So we want to have generational building. So, all of it has been included to make sure that we put out something sound and solid for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, I want you to tell me off camera, like, what business I need to start so I can get a piece of this. Because the idea really is that this provides no opportunity for people, right? And that's the hope. I not only opportunity for people to own homes and to get something like a home from this project, but also perhaps employment.
Yes.
You want to see business, whether it is specific businesses to do with supporting the construction, even if it's not directly in construction. What are some of these things that are anticipated? Because I think even that is something that needs to be put out there. A lot of times I feel like what happens is there's a lot of vagueness with the suggestions and the way forward. Like, and I keep saying, sometimes we need specifics, right? And we need specifics. If there's an anticipation that we recognize that we're gonna need more support with concrete, right? Perhaps that's an opportunity for somebody to look into and make it public. The reason, and sometimes I feel like the specifics get out there, but it get out to specific people, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to opening it up where persons could compete in a more level way, right? For what is available. So when those things are identified, I hope that those opportunities are fully displayed and say, look, we realize we can have a shortage of people providing lumber, right? There's an opportunity for someone who may have a contact to import lumber, whatever it is, right? Those opportunities are clearly stated, and hopefully people take up the opportunity to really use that as a way to benefit from this program as well. Because, like I said, I don't think it's simply just the construction workers or people that traditionally in construction are just the homeowners, or the possible homeowners that stand to benefit. I think when you have a program of this size, it really is a whole ecosystem that has to develop around it.
Right.
And those are things that hopefully you could then build on moving forward. So I'm looking forward to hearing even more about some of those opportunities as well.
Right. And I'm glad that you brought up that, because some people have taken the initiative. There are local contractors here and in Nevis who have made application to the government for themselves to build smart homes and low-income affordable homes for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's not a closed system; it's an open system. And and I applaud those people because they saw a need for it and they made the initiation to go out and say, let me try to do this initiative to provide as well, but at the same time to make money. Because that is why we go out and work, every day, to make money. So I'm glad that you said that to say, to make people aware that these are initiatives, these are ideas in which you can better yourself by thinking outside the box, thinking how do I capitalize? If I'm not a mason, if I'm not a plumber, if I'm not a painter, how do I capitalize on these type of things? Now, when it comes to some of the furnishing, the opportunity will be there for those local providers who provides furniture or sells furniture to see if they can meet the price that is affordable to make sure that these homes stay affordable, that they will get a chance once they can deliver to sell and make some money from this project. So you're right, the opportunity is there, it's just people have to take advantage of it.
Well, well, what I was speaking specifically to is clearly identifying spaces where these opportunities exist, right? So yes, innovative thinking is always going to put you ahead of the game, right? And a willingness to act on those ideas. However, I think it works well for these types of programs that are put on by the government, programs that are meant to really impact the most people in the most beneficial way, to have a lot of that information. And the reason I say that is I do believe that information exists and information does come out. It's not necessarily put out. So generally, somebody who is on the ground might have looking at the program, and it's not, I don't think it's necessarily a malicious thing. You're looking at the thing and say, I know why you're watching, but we're going to need some trucks here. Them man who building his house, they're going to need some trucks and so. My uncle, okay, then we'll go get some truck. You understand? So generally, that type of information is based on a relationship that exists and that kind of thing. Not necessarily that anybody trying to just give certain people certain things or whatever, but it's just based on a relationship and so. But I think if we identify some of these opportunities and make it public that, hey, these are some of the areas that we see potential for persons to get involved in, I think that works well for persons who might be a bit ambitious and who have an opportunity to try and fulfill that need. Right. So that's kind of what I was speaking about.
Say it rather than not say it.
Yeah, clearly, because sometimes we need a direction. Yeah, sometimes people are going to be innovative and be able to have the foresight to identify what is needed. sometimes you get a tip and somebody just tell you like, well, about, yeah, hey, maybe it's something you could get into. But I believe like in situations like this, being able to put it out clearly for persons to see, hey, these are the areas that we really recognize our people can come in and be a part of what it is that we're doing. I think that goes a long way to maybe helping to impact a broader spectrum of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. My time, yes.
You know, the man got things to do. The man say,
just making sure he finished, you know.
The man like go work here.
I don't know, you know, I could be here all morning, you know.
This a man who like to work.
Obviously. Just making sure he's finished, he's got it all off his chest. So you said next week there should be a press conference.
Yes, I am. When I leave here, I'm going to finalize to get more information to make sure that it's on and the date that it is, and we'll put it out there as to when and where. But we want to see all the stakeholders involved, the homeowners, the contractors, the general public, the media, everybody. We want to make sure that we put it out so that they can reach there, ask all the questions that they need to ask, and we can have something spectacular in the making.
Well, Ambassador, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
We know you have to go and save the world now.
One person at a time.
Yes, one person at a time. So we look forward to having you back when you have more information that you want to share with the general public.
Sure.
Feel free to reach out to us and join us on the Sugar Factory.
Right. And I end by saying how I started. Congratulations to both of you. Doing an awesome job. Sugar Factory goes up and beyond.
All right, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, thanks. Guys, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be right back. We actually have some more friends, all kind of friends jumping into the right here to talk to you. So stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's not just iced tea and it's not cold tea. But who said we couldn't be in the middle? We are Mother Becky Quenchers, a herbal iced tea. It's a different and innovative take on using traditional herbs for tea. It's a home.
Get more value for your money when you activate your Digicel Prime bundle. More choices for what you want at low prices. More talk time on the most reliable network. More any-use data for whatever you're into searching and sharing. And dedicated data for more new apps to stream your music, shows, and live sports. Activate a Digicel Prime bundle of your choice in the My Digicel app today and save more. Digicel, better connected.
Hey guys, welcome back to SipNchat right here at the Sugar Factory. And as I mentioned, we have some very special guests joining us here. Today's a busy day at the Sugar Factory, man.
Yes, we're busy.
A lot of sweetness in here today, man.
Of course, it's the weekend.
Yes, and we have some representatives with us today. I'll let them introduce themselves and tell us exactly why they're here.
Ladies first.
I expected you to start with that. Hi, good day everyone. My name is Kimani Philip and I am a cohort 9 member of the CFBC/Jenkins Limited Leadership course.
I'm Genevieve Mills. I'm a cohort 3 member of the CFBC Jenkins Leadership course as well.
So members of the Jenkins Leadership course, I mean, we have over the years heard a lot about this course, and it's been very interesting how so many people just in our community have been able to positively benefit from this program. For persons who are listening who might not know, you could give us a brief overview of exactly what the program is all about?
Essentially, the program was developed by Mr. R.A. Peter Jenkins. He likes to say it started about 17 years ago because he had the vision and it took him 7 years to approach CFBC to seek partnership and to get the wheels in motion to actually start the program 10 years ago. So it was started by him to develop leadership skills as well as to encourage the youth and foster a community within our federation. I think Genevieve can add a bit more to it.
I'll do that. Thank you very much, Kimani. And so it's, as she rightfully said, it was his brainchild 17 years ago in the brain, developed 10 years ago. And so we commemorating the 10-year anniversary of creating leaders out of the smallest of minds, whether it is young adults who would have already gone through the work cycle, or young and upcoming thoroughbreds who will be shaping our society in the not too distant future. And so that is what it's about, breeding leaders, making leaders out of novices, out of persons who would have think or thought that in their own right they can't lead. That's what this group, this leadership course is about.
So really building that capacity in persons.
Yes.
Irrespective of background, irrespective of socioeconomic standings.
So we can make saying it's Nevis the number one, you understand?
Right.
Federation or small nations within the Caribbean and wider field. That's what it's about, really. We want to be able to stand out amongst the rest. And we would only be able to do that if we have a cadre of people who are thinking alike and ready to mold and shape, you understand, our social fabric into what it should be.
And 10 years, I think that in itself is an accomplishment. And so congratulations to all involved, the brainchild, of course, and of course the persons who have passed through the program. I think 10 years is no easy feat to see something, especially this important, to have continually going time and time again. Especially with some of the things that we've had recently going on, whether it is COVID, whether it's just economic challenges, changes in society. To navigate all of that and to still be here, I think that is commendable for sure.
Definitely.
And if I could add, Jade, before, this cohort have had persons from all walks of life. Pastors, preachers, the present commissioner of police. The ambassador who was just here was a cohort member, and we could go on and on in terms of persons who would have passed through the leadership course. So it's breeding, you understand, and it's actually taking, you're seeing the benefits.
You're seeing the results, right?
Yes, the results are being, they're there. They're already there. I guess we're just not doing enough to show that we are out there. And so this is all encompassing that vision in terms of making sure that we are more out there in the public eye. And of course, we have to thank you guys at the Sugar Factory, you understand, for helping us to be, you understand, that vibrant and visible in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the region, because I know it goes further afield than here.
For sure. And I mean, we really admire the work that is being done. Like you said, we have been able to see persons who have passed through the program who are now undoubtedly positively impacting not just their families or their communities, not only just even St. Kitts, but even the entire world, right?
Yes.
And so the work that is being done as part of this course, I think, is really showing fruit. It's bearing fruit, and it's really is commendable. But you said 10 years.
So
Yes.
something has to be happening.
And so there must be things happening because that is no small feat.
So we started our 10-year anniversary celebrations a few months ago, and we had a few representatives visiting
Right.
the show in the past. But today we are here to talk about our upcoming gala that will be held on Saturday, May 27th, under the distinguished patronage of Her Excellency Dame Marcella Leibud, the CFBC/Jenkins Limited Leadership Program will hold its 10th anniversary cocktail and awards gala. So this will be held at Government's House.
Okay, well, big things going on.
Yes.
And the proceeds from this event would be a fundraiser, so we can
Upgrade.
upgrade the Icons Park that we have here at Adlam Hill.
Yes.
We want to, you see, you have visionary people in this
Well, we suspect so.
And so the persons are of the view now that we need to change out the sort of material that we would have used in the first instance, because we want something that is more durable.
Right.
So we want to upgrade the park with, that sort of
Weather resistant things and just give it a lift.
good.
Everything is evolution.
We want to make the park better.
Nice.
And also to add the icons that would have been recognized for the past years after the park had
After
been
the initial one,
established.
right? After the initial, okay.
So official updates.
Well, I think that this is a great look. I mean, a gala at Government House. I think that is something that is a great initiative by the cohort. Is the cohort organizing this?
Yes, it's the cohort, and you realize like Imani said, the Gigi, the dame, the new boss gave us the privilege. She gave us, you understand, the leaders the privilege to come and celebrate, you understand, this auspicious occasion right there.
Right.
You understand? And I don't think we gotta ask for anything better than that. And so we have to tell her, we have to say here, it is important that we say here, we say thank you to the Governor General for giving us, you understand, such a privilege to host the event there. I think it speaks well. And if I can go down that road, since he can be there, we can just go in jeans and t-shirts. Not saying they don't look good.
Once you hear gala, and we go into them place. But I can tell you something in Geneva. I see people like Justin Young about that. People coming out.
You're right. I would imagine the females on order.
Come on.
This is machine time. This is higher level. I don't know. Main change the call down Sheen, but I would imagine the females going to Kiwi Dan and these people to get their clothes. You understand?
It's an auspicious occasion, like you said.
I don't have me Dan ready, you know.
Celebration.
I don't have me stuff ready.
Tell us about the celebration. What can we expect?
Okay, so there will be, of course, food, entertainment. There's the award section, and we also will be having a few giveaways. So you have to be in it to win it, actually.
Right.
So she starts at the most important thing.
What, food?
Yes,
when
food.
you hear cocktail and gala, like food got to run. Food got to run. But I mean, who can attend? Is it open
It is open to the general public.
public.
Tickets can be purchased at the Jenkins Limited office that is on the corner of Sprott Street and Keon Street, as well as Plush that is there on Keon Street.
Okay.
Can you tell us how much the tickets cost?
The tickets cost only $175.
Okay.
And that's small potatoes when you consider what will be happening in terms of how we will be entertained.
Just even the venue.
For the period of time. Exactly. As a matter of fact, persons will be able to leave there with prices that are worth more than the $175 that they would have paid.
Not only that, as you guys mentioned initially, and the proceeds are going to a very worthy cause.
Yes.
You know, so even just being a part of something that is, I think it's a really good initiative. The Icons Park, that that is something that we all should want to be a part of and contribute to see, you know, the furtherance of that project.
I think it's like you're going to take on your jacket, boy.
Actually, right? I don't work out which steam cleaner going to you.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
So that means we're bringing the tickets for you guys. Thanks.
The sugar factory too easy.
And I think it's important to say that we would want persons to show up early, or else you would miss some of the extravaganza.
What time does it start?
It starts at 5. Persons are asked to be seated at least by 5:30.
Yes.
So we want persons to be there early so they don't miss anything and they don't have to ask, why miss?
Right.
Yes.
You know, I don't.
Yes. I think it's important to say that all the events that we have been putting off throughout the months to celebrate the 10 years, they have been a wow. And like the brainchild for the whole cohort, he says he has this great inner feeling that there's gonna be a bang.
Okay.
And so if he could feel so,
yeah.
it is because he's getting that from what we already put in a sense to make sure that persons would have that sort of experience. So we're asking everybody to come. Even if you don't think you want to be there, we're still asking you to donate the $175.
Right.
Because it's going to a great cause.
Yeah.
The upliftment of the park, and outside the upliftment of the park, of course we have future activities and stuff that we will want to put on, and you can't do anything in society without a little bit of capital.
Right.
So we'll be grateful for all donations.
And as we said, like the program itself has been seen now to really produce what it thought to produce, which is leaders, people in society who are positively impacting their surroundings. So if you're supporting something like this is something that you could definitely feel good about where your support is going. And so definitely encourage people to support. If there's people who, for instance, just even want to make a donation to the course, to lend support in some other way, is there a way that they can contact?
Yes.
Contact you guys?
Can contact Jenkins Limited office. The telephone number is, I think it is 465-2588. We'll have to confirm.
I can give you another number that I know
well,
for sure. They can contact Anika Rejan.
Big super too.
Yeah. You can contact her for sure at 662-4779. Or you can contact Mr. Jenkins himself at 662-7373. So I know for sure you can use those two numbers and get straight to the relevant
contact and people.
Yes.
And we're encouraging businesses to support as well, because a few of their employees, they do attend and participate, and in the long term the businesses benefit from the participation. So
of course.
definitely.
Is there anyone who at this time has come on board to support the initiative? You want to give a shout out? Yeah, the gala. I'll just.
There are businesses that have been. I don't know if we can. In this world, Azem, you have persons who would give, but they don't. They want
discreet. Discreet.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, it's important that we say thank you to all those who have come on board to partner, and for those who will be coming on board. You understand, as we get closer to it. And as Kimani rightfully said, we would want business persons to buy tables, purchase tables, and send your staff. If you think they've been doing a great job, to uplift the company and to, how should I put this? To make what you're doing greater. So the proceeds at the end could continue to be better, and the proceeds I'm talking about is the economic proceeds. This is a good way to reward them by buying a table or two and sending them to the function. And who knows, I'm certain, I hope I ain't going to chat myself here, I'm certain that if you're buying a table, you'll get a little discount off. Yeah. Maybe I might have to point that because
But yeah, guys, this does seem like something that is definitely should be circled on people's calendar. And tell us the date again.
Saturday, May 27th. Seating is at 5:30. We begin at 5.
Coming out in nice
At
clothes.
the government house, yes.
Coming your dandans.
Yeah,
When I was younger, they used to come in your dandans. You sung the best.
Yeah.
You know, so I done start to practice a little bit.
You gotta walk a little strut.
You see, today is Friday and I done practicing.
Yeah, right.
So we want people to come out there in the formal attire. We want people to come out there, you know, like I said, semi-formal, it kicks sometimes. We want persons to come in your formal attire. If you want to come in your black tie, if you want to go out and be posh like that, come.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, this is a proper occasion for that type of showing, right?
Yes.
I mean, the celebration, you guys, the celebration of the 10 years of something like this. There's an award ceremony. The place, the venue, the entire event, I think, speaks to that type of let's come out and show excellence, because that's what we're celebrating, right?
Correct.
Well, we look forward to it, and congratulations again on your 10 years. That's no small feat. And we look forward to all the good things that you guys will continue to do, and the leaders that you guys will continue to create.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
And thank you guys for having us. Thank you for always supporting us.
And I think I should say thank you, should say thank you for them, you understand, for having a program like this to continue to educate the masses in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the region. It is up.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And we continue to support you guys. You guys continue to support us. And we really do appreciate that. Trust me. I mean, we all kind of going in the same direction, right? We want to see the best for what's happening. So, yeah, and it feels good. It feels good when we have people who doing good things. You know what I mean? We like to highlight that. Sometimes we don't talk about, but we don't find good news to put on in this thing, but we don't find like where everything I feel heavy, dark out there, and so not heavy. But that's why we're so excited when we have things like this happening, things that we could look forward to and are happy about. Celebrating icons, celebrating people doing great things, celebrating 10 years of excellence, right? Yeah. So thank you guys so much for doing what you're doing. And of course, we definitely look forward to the gala on May 27th.
Yes.
Guys, go 5 o'clock.
Yes.
The tickets are $175. They're sold at Jenkins Limited as well as Plush Eatery.
Boom, bam. So you ain't gonna excuse now, you're done, no? They ain't gonna done. So see you there, guys. See you there. Guys, we're gonna take a short break and come back as we wrap up today's episode of Sip and Chat. Go wash out your mug, come right back as we wrap up. See you guys in just a bit. Hey guys, welcome back to SipNchat as we wrap up today's episode. Really, I'm talking about that. Today's episode, what, 48?
Yeah. What I mean?
No, I'm just glad to see the progress that we moved.
No, we well on the way.
Yeah. So definitely looking forward to more and more shows.
Of course.
Oh boy. Well, Jade, I had a good day today.
I did.
This was actually quite refreshing. I feel better than I did yesterday.
Yesterday was chaotic for many reasons. You had extra reasons, but
yeah, but even that was like, you know, the whole issue with the show and like.
I'd say yesterday was chaotic.
Yeah, just guys, we want to apologize yesterday for those of you who are watching the show for the abrupt end, but you know, circumstances beyond our control.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody want to guess a generator one. Somebody want to guess like abandon router to ban multiple internet service providers. Yeah, go to that too. Like we need like.
So when one decide they just do maintenance and they tell nobody, we are lease.
But that's how it is. But you see, this is the thing, Jade. Like what people don't understand when you're doing things live, like there's all these other considerations, right?
My word.
Yeah, there's all these other considerations. So it is what it is, But
we will definitely have Uncle Doya back to finish that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was going, it was going well, and he has more things that he wants to talk about. So look out for that one. We have lots of guests in and out of the studio next week, guys. Yes, next week is busy already.
Yeah, a lot of people like, and in this, I guess that speaks to the fact that they understand that our sippers are important, right? And that the people looking and people watching, and so the only reason that people even want to come here and talk to us is because you guys are listening and you guys are watching.
That's true.
And so we always want to thank you guys. I know I say it every day, but that's because it really is such a big part of what it is that we do here. The fact that you guys are listening. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
Broadcast.
Yeah. And if there's things that y'all want us to discuss, feel free to send it. You know, this is a safe space.
Yeah, what we need to do is give them the number so they can WhatsApp us.
Yes, let me do that now. The number is 764-2428.
Yeah, so WhatsApp us your interest in videos, interest in...
questions, comments.
Yeah, definitely.
Articles, anything you want us to touch on.
Yeah.
Send us that message.
What we'll do, we'll probably come up with a nice part of the show where we could specifically discuss things that something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. That's a good idea. Maybe the last half hour.
Yeah, I'll just like
10-15 minutes.
However much you just
depending
on what
it is.
Yeah. Sip with a sipper.
Sip with a sipper. Look at you.
Sip with a sipper. You know them things in my that's my thing.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, sip with a sipper. So like that's something we could work on.
I agree, friend. Wholeheartedly.
So but yeah guys, that's because like we really do just love you guys so much. Big up all the people who watching daily. If this is your first time, welcome.
Yes.
If this is the last time,
well,
thank you.
It was fun.
But of course, we really do look forward to more and more interaction with you guys. So thank you guys so much. Hey, big up all the people in the live chats. You guys are the real MVPs. Like that'll be a whole vibe over there. It wouldn't be a show if that didn't happen.
No, we was going good. But you know, you were saying.
But no, it's just, you know, again, the people who are in the chats and talking, they have their own little community there.
Yeah.
We got the King Club here, got the Sip Labs. And it's really just, again, just really love what's happening.
And again, the number to WhatsApp is 764-2428, 764-chat.
Yeah, 764-chat. That's easy to remember. And then, we'll probably start putting that up and get you guys, to be a part of it. Yeah, Sip with a Sipper. Yeah. Sip with a Sipper. Yeah. So, again, guys, we've come to the end. Yeah, it's the weekend. This weekend.
No, you ain't realize, but I definitely realize.
No, but this weekend.
Creep up on you now?
It creep up on me. I guess because it just felt like the days were not ending. It was going. But it was a creep up for real. Last weekend was Mother's Day. This weekend is just... Oh, they had a boy child thing happening sometime this week too. Yeah. Maybe we could celebrate cows or something this weekend.
Why not? Why not? They're tasty.
They're tasty. Beef. That's what's for dinner.
Yes.
Anyway, but guys, thank you so much. Please be safe out there this weekend. Yeah, we always talk about slow news days, but them will be the good days. You understand? Them will be the good days when we ain't got to worry about whatever nonsense some people was out there doing on the day before and the weekend before.
Just try and be on your best behavior this weekend.
Well, look, guys, deal with people with grace, deal with people with respect. Discipline yourself, enjoy yourself, get some rest.
Most important.
Trust me. Get some rest. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys back here again on Monday for more Sip and Chat. But alas, we gotta leave, we gotta go, we gotta disembark, we gotta disappear.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. And so, of course, please remember to spend more time living your content than posting it, particularly this weekend. All right? And of course, most importantly, remember, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. Bye.